So today we're going to talk about keywords. So in case you haven't noticed, Amazon is all about keywords. So I know that some of you are selling physical products, and you also know that it's all about keywords. If you don't have good keywords, no one can find you. It doesn't matter how great your book is. Yeah, no one can find you. So it's really, really important that you spend the time looking for the keywords, for the right keywords. And it's a matter of testing. It's never, you can never be sure 100% that, it on the first go, it's the right keywords. So you just have to test and keep monitoring what's happening. So yeah. Yes, okay. All right, so what we're going to do is, if you have any questions, put them all in the Q&A box, so then we can go over them and we're not getting distracted. I mean, you're not getting distracted by the chat box. So all your questions, put them in the Q&A box and we'll answer to them as they come in. And then over to you, CJ.
Alrighty, so when it comes to keywords, one of the best tools that we can suggest is to use Publisher Rocket. And you can just type that into your search bar on Google if you've never heard of it, if you've never found it before. Just type in Publisher Rocket and you can easily download it. I believe it's what, 97 bucks, something like that. So get it now when you can, because it's just a one-time fee. Dave keeps threatening to make it a subscription. He's been doing that for like a year or two now. So I don't know when he's actually ever going to do it. It may be an empty threat, but you know, just get in on it because you're going to need it either way. So what I'm going to do is show you guys what Publisher Rocket looks like when you download it onto your computer and you pull it up. And we're just going to go over what this is, how it works, each little thing, and then we'll kind of do a demonstration of how you can utilize these keywords specifically for a book description. So you're going to use keywords, and we've done some stuff with this when it comes to like your title and your subtitle. For those of you who are new, you can go back and take a look at some of the videos we've done when it comes to finding keyword research for your title and your subtitle. We thought maybe we could kind of tweak a book blurb that we have, try to improve it, make it better. But just for now, we'll go over each little thing we got here. So right here is your keyword research, where you can look for specific keywords for titles, subtitles, book descriptions. The competition analyzer is a place where you can go to see who is competing for that specific keyword or keyword phrase, which books are being pulled up, like the top 5 that are utilizing that and making quite a bit of money. So you can kind of check out your competition, which is helpful because it will let you know if you are competing head on against a particular individual, or if this is someone that you maybe are not competing against specifically, which can help you decide if that's a keyword that you actually really want to take on. Okay. The category searches are for letting you know what's profitable and also what people are putting their books under. The AMS keyword search is very, very helpful because you can type in a broad keyword that has to do with your book, such as young adult fiction or biographies of women. And this will pull up a huge list of keywords that you can use for your ads. And then when you first get this, I highly recommend that you go over to the tutorials page because it really breaks down everything. It will go into quite a bit of detail as to how to utilize all of these things. So you can click on them here, you can click on them there. It doesn't matter. So the first thing we want to do is just go over the data, basically, what numbers you're looking at and what you should be looking for when it comes to assessing whether or not a keyword is good for you. So if we were to, just in the spirit of the book description that we're using, let's talk about CrossFit. So let's look at, we're just going to type in a broad keyword or a broad topic. You don't have to get very niche down right now. And you can do it in books and you can also do it in ebooks. Assessing both is a very good idea. So when we take a look at CrossFit, we're going to see all of these other search terms and it could give us some ideas for future books. But what this tells us is that we have a competitive score of 43 Now, I like that because the higher up you get to 100, the worse it is to compete. You're never going to rank on the first page of Amazon when someone searches CrossFit if it's like 85, if this score is 85 or 100. It would just be far too hard to compete with all of the other books using that particular keyword. So I try to do kind of 65 or below. If you're more experienced and you've got the marketing money, you could go a little bit higher if you want to, but I like 43. That's great. This is an issue right here though, because you really want to have searches above 100. You want people actually searching for these terms, especially if you're going to be using them in your book description, title, subtitle. You want to really maximize the benefits of these titles and subtitles and the weight that they have when it comes to how many people are searching for a particular term and how competitive it is to rank on that first page. So under 100 is something I would try to stay away from. Sometimes the numbers are, vary, and sometimes you have to make a judgment call if you feel like it's worth it. But for the most part, try to stay above 100 when it comes to Amazon searches. I kind of feel like Google searches are gravy. Like if there are some, excellent. If some numbers pop up, great. I don't generally worry too much about it, but it is nice to know if there are searches being done specifically. And of course there are with CrossFit on Google. You are going to find everybody's searching for CrossFit on Google, obviously. But this program, it basically grabs all of the data from Amazon's website and pulls it in. So it's more concerned about what's happening on Amazon than it is on Google. And Virginie, do you know why sometimes it pulls up Google searches and other times it doesn't? I still need to talk to Dave about that because it seems a little bit random.
Yeah, I don't know, but
yeah.
What I think it could be useful is if you're doing not the normal book that we do, but if you're doing low content book.
Right.
It can be a little bit hard to find like up to 300 words for low content.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to go and do, say, a Google keyword search and add some of those keywords in my campaign when I'm doing a manual campaign. So yeah, but only for low content. I don't really know. I don't really pay attention to this column, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't ever either, except sometimes what I'll find is that there are tons of Google searches and then I've got hardly anything here. And so sometimes I wonder if maybe I could utilize that knowledge for if I were doing, Google pay-per-click ads, that, analytics and that type of stuff. So just recognize that it's good to know that, but also recognize that this NA, people are searching CrossFit on Google. So obviously he just didn't grab that information for whatever reason. When it comes to average earnings, the higher the better, honestly, but I want you to pay attention, and maybe I can actually find an example of this. Sometimes you'll have a really, really low competitive score, really, really low search terms, and this number could be like $15,000. If you have lower search term and tons of money that's right in there and not a ton of competitors right here, more than likely what you're finding is that there's a book right here within this that's using CrossFit book as a term. And it's the one making the majority of that money. So pay attention to that, because if that is a book, and you can check that right through here, but if that is a book that you are competing with head on, then I wouldn't necessarily use that particular term, even though the competition is a little bit lower, just because you don't want to have to fight with someone who has an incredible sales rank. Okay. So just be strategic about that. When it comes to number of competitors, it's just saying these are the amount of people, or these are the amount of books that are utilizing these terms. Okay. So when it comes to the book side, what they'll say is if it's greater, greater than 1,200, you'll see that right there. I like the lower end of the spectrum. I like not having to compete with a lot of people, but I want you to take note of this. Excuse me. This competition is 75. And look at how big that amount of money is. So this was what I was talking about. there are not a ton of people who are doing CrossFit level 1 training guides. They're not using that term. And yet it is super, super duper competitive, probably because the books that are using this particular term are making a killing. Their sales ranks are incredible. They're right on page 1, and you would have to fight all of them to be able to get this money and to be able to rank. Okay, so let's just take a real quick look so I can kind of show you what I mean by this. So this book right here, Starting Strength, Basic Barbell Training, 3rd edition. I don't know much about CrossFit, but I would assume that that has something to do with it. Look at how much money they're making. That's $16,819. That's a lot of money. So they're making a ton of money monthly. Let's see, this is the average sales rank. Do you see how incredible these sales ranks are? You really don't want to have to compete against someone who's got a rank of 10,000 or lower. That is really hard to crack into. You'd have to be selling hundreds of books a day in order to be able to compete against these folks. This person, Bigger, Leaner, Stronger, The Simple Science of Building the Ultimate Male Body, probably another CrossFit book, I would imagine. 23,000, that's a crazy good sales rank. So you don't want to compete head on with these folks. So based on that analysis, I would not use this. I wouldn't even touch it. If you're doing CrossFit, figure out a different way to discuss your book. Find different keywords where you're not competing so heavily against someone. Okay, cross train, beginner's guide, getting to know the cross training. We got Nada here, but this is 7,998. So it's not even like we've got some low hitters. It's all very rebuilding Milo. Good glory. Look at this. Yeah. So that this person's number 200 in the store. Oh, that's terrifying. That means that they're like 199 books away from being number 1 in that store. That's crazy. So just pay attention to those numbers. And again, most of these books are really difficult to compete against. So I would not touch that one.
Sorry, are you in the books section?
I am in the books. Yeah, we can take a look, but let's take a look at, we can take a look at ebooks as well. So I'll just type in CrossFit. Ooh, I can spell. Kind of. There we go. So for books, if I were doing, just as another example, if I were doing an AMS ad for just a paperback in CrossFit, it's just not, that's not something I would use. And probably not for the title or subtitle either, just to be safe. Now in ebooks, you'll find different things. So the competitive scores are a little bit different. We're still getting less than 100 even in ebooks with CrossFit. So that alone should deter you from ever using that just by itself. You could probably find something that is a little bit better when it comes to like keyword phrases that are a little bit longer, probably searched more often, like CrossFit for beginners. I think that would probably, I wonder if we even have this down here. Do you see that? No, I'll have to type it in. But we've got more revenue right here, several searches with CrossFit athletes. So I'm not really sure if that would just be they're targeting athletes or if they're actually writing about CrossFit athletes and doing biographies, which would be interesting because I know that there are a lot of people who compete and have made a name for themselves in that. But as you just look, compare the numbers and see what you think and just know that that's good. That's great. The average earnings isn't spiked too high, which means it's probably spread across your initial 5-10 competitors, which means their sales ranks are probably not too high and you could compete, and there's not too many of them. So that's nice right there. Any questions? Do we have any questions we need to?
Yeah, so let me just go on top. You mentioned, so it's from Patty. You mentioned it might be useful to discuss when looking at publisher rocket why competitors are not aligned with competition scores.
Oh, yes, Patty. Patty and I had talked about that in a call. Yes, thank you so much. And I think that is what I ended up doing without even realizing that Patty had said that. Yeah, I did want to make sure, because I had some people say it doesn't make sense if the number of competitors, if there's tons of competitors and yet the score is super low, shouldn't these work in conjunction with each other? And the answer to that is they won't, because if their sales ranks are crazy high, that means it's far more competitive to rank on page 1. So like, take a look at this. There's 1,131 people who are fighting for this keyword, and yet the competition isn't too bad. So what that's telling me is that out of all these people, their sales ranks really aren't that high. So I could probably compete, even though there are a ton of people doing it, I could probably still compete. And with, you know, strategic ads and the things that you're learning and you implement, you could get on that first page. So it's less difficult. Any other questions?
Yes, when typing your first keywords in the columns when publishing the book, do you type commas to add more keywords in the columns, or is it one keyword / phrase per column only? Anthony, are you referring to the 7 keywords section?
It sounds like what he's,
yeah,
the metadata area. Yeah.
If it is, no.
Yeah.
No columns, sorry, no comma.
No commas. Yeah, don't do keyword stuffing in that. So it'll confuse the algorithms, it'll confuse Amazon. Just put one keyword or one keyword phrase in each box.
Probably more one keyword phrase, because people, when they search in like a phrase, they rarely just put one word in there. Right. So just think what you do when you are on Amazon and you're searching for a book. You don't put, I don't know. I mean, I probably wouldn't even put just CrossFit. I probably put something like CrossFit training or CrossFit something. So just whenever you think about keywords, think about what the way how you rate this will be doing the search. Okay. Oh yes, and then you don't need to repeat in those 7 keywords section. You don't repeat.
Yeah, don't repeat.
I don't think you can get KD Spy on smartphone or tablet. I think you need to and, have you tried on smartphone or tablet, CJ?
I've never done that. From what I gather, it's just only available on a PC or a Mac. I think those are the 2 downloads that you have available to you. And I have no idea if Dave's trying to make it accessible through the phones. No, I don't know.
KD Spy. So,
oh, Katie Spy. No, I've never seen anything available. It's just a different Chrome browser, like the Chrome browser, Google. Yeah, I've never seen it on your phone either.
Yeah. Okay. When you say in the store, is it BSR based on category or BSR in all of Kindle? In that category, Christine. So, you know, when you did click on, I don't know, on the first one, CJ, competition.
Okay.
So the BSR here, it's not in all of Amazon. Go to that question mark.
This one?
Yeah, on top. Yeah. So it's that ranking, it's in that category. It's not in the whole store, is it?
The whole store. Okay, so what's the question? Is the keyword or the category? Because either one is wrong. What it is, this is what it's selling, like out of the whole Kindle store. So this is what it's selling out of the bookstore, and this is what it's selling out of the Kindle store.
So Christine, it's in all of the Kindle store, not just based on category. Sorry. For some reason, it's just in that category. Okay. Anyway, don't mind me. Ignore me. Is KD we use KD Spy as the kind of the initial stage when we're assessing profitability of a book. But then once we're a little bit more advanced in our research process, we're going to use a publisher rocket, especially for keywords, for categories, and just exactly like what we're doing right now. What was ABSR to stay away from? Do you have a guideline?
I would stay away from 10,000 and below, because you're having to sell just a ton of books a day to beat people with sales ranks of 10,000 or lower.
What is a good number for the number of competitors? What should I stay away from? So can you go back to the, Yeah. So all those columns, it shouldn't be read individually. They should be
Right.
all read in conjunction together. So you might have a very, no, I guess, no, that, yeah. So they should be read in conjunction with each other. But when when the number of competitors is really high, say what's really high?
I would say too high is like 2,000 or 3,000, unless, and this is where we go back to looking at the numbers as a whole, unless, you know, let's say that this is 3,000 and the numbers are $150,000 average monthly earnings of revenue. That's a lot of money to spend with just 3,000, you know, I mean, you can get a piece of that. So then you've got to come over here and take a look at the competitor score. If it really was 18 with 3,000 people there, what that tells you is that these 3,000 people stink at marketing. They just stink at they're not marketing the books. So, you know, they're making it easy for you to compete against all of these people. So it just depends on the average monthly revenue in conjunction with how many people you've got here and how competitive that is. Now, the only time you ever just look at one number alone and decide something right off the bat is if this number is over 65. If it's over 65, I would stay away from it as you're new and you're trying to grow your business, because you don't want to have to keep paying exorbitant amounts of money through AMS ads to try and test things and learn and build and then make mistakes. You know, it's better to do that with keywords that are less competitive. Okay. And then this, of course, as well. If it's under 100, I don't even look at the rest of it usually. I really don't. Not unless, no, I really can't think. I think there's only been a couple of times where I've been like, huh, maybe. But then I just use them for Amazon ads rather than actually putting them into, you know, the title, subtitle, and then the book description, because I really want to maximize that Amazon page and search engine optimize it to the fullest with things that are less competitive, have more revenue, and have a lot of searches. So I would say these two columns are the only things that I ever look at individually. The rest of it I'm trying to look at as a whole to determine, you know, what I think. So I wish I could give you a hard and fast rule on some of these things, but a lot of times these numbers vary, you know, what you decide to do based on how high or low they are. So you just got to practice.
So I think that answered the question from Judy and Lynn. Donna, so this is the BSR out of all ebooks. So can you go back to the
yes.
Yeah. Can you?
Yeah.
This is out of all ebooks because we selected ebook when
the searches in ebooks right here.
And then the first one.
This one is in physical books, the bookstore.
Paperback. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Trudy, this is a bit of complicated question. So Trudy is asking, at some point, can you give an idea of the relationship between ad spend cost versus organic search results? I know this is a very general question, depends on a lot of variables, but as a new publisher with a limited budget, how can I maximize organic keyword search traffic and build to ad spend? Any guidance?
Ooh, yes, good question. Did you want to take that first, Virginie?
Yeah, so I don't think I can give you a one line, even 2 lines answer, but I do want to say something about the budget, the limited budget. So when it comes to ad spend, the budget should be whatever you can afford to spend. And I mean, obviously you got to spend a little bit, like a minimum, I don't know, $100 a month. Otherwise we're not getting, so $100 a month. So that's like what, $3 a day?
Yeah.
30. Yeah, it's $3.30. So my math are brilliant, as you can see. So $3 a day, it's maybe just a little bit light. Let's say you're spending if you're budgeting $5 a day, that's $150 a month. But keep in mind that you're not going necessarily to spend all the $150. It's the maximum cap that you are planning to spend every day. And it's really not so much about how much budget you're allowing. It's about how much for every dollar you're spending, how much return you're getting. So on that basis, if I have $150 and I'm getting $2 for every dollar spent, then it's a good budget. But if I have I don't know, if I have $150 and then I spend $150 and I'm only getting, I don't know, $180 back, then this is not a good budget. Does it make sense? What I'm trying to say? So when it comes to PPC, your budget is what you can afford to spend. And you just have to really monitor every single keywords and remove the ones that are not performing, and really push those ones that are really performing well. So Trudy, sorry, I don't have a super detailed answer to your questions, but I think if AMS ads, it's the best way to get your book visible, because it's already on Amazon, right? Because you can do a lot of external marketing and traffic building, but AMS ads, it's the fastest one. So, but the way how you do those ads really matter. You really need to monitor your keywords and check that they're performing, and remove the ones that are not performing.
Mm-hmm. I would also add that if you're concerned with the amount of money you're having to spend, there are free ways to promote. And the free ways include a lot of different sites that will actually just let you submit your book for free. And if they have room in the day, they'll put you in there. Another way is to join groups of other authors, or you know, promotional groups. You can find those on Facebook, where let's say you write in the hydroponics niche and there's some kind of joint venture with everyone doing a fun you know, group thing where they're all sharing the information and sharing your books with the audience. So there are free ways to do that that can create more organic growth. It's a lot of busy work, which is why I like to just pay for it and move on, especially because I know once you lock in stuff with Amazon, then it really starts working. That's why it's really critical for all of you to learn Amazon ads, so that you can, however you can, learn. I mean, just, you know, look at YouTube videos for the basic stuff. We've taught you how to create them. We can also do another video where we show you how you would adjust the bids based on what you're seeing, you know, kind of do an in-depth dive into that later. But yeah, that's another way you can kind of offset the cost and still build more organic traffic.
It's just going to take a longer time. Whereas AMS ads, this is it. You're already on the platform.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is a decent number of Amazon searches per month?
What is, sorry, say the question again.
What is a decent number of Amazon searches per month?
Okay. Definitely over 100. I know that sounds very broad, but anything over 100 makes me happy. So based on the numbers that you're looking at all together, and based on other search terms that you are looking at, compare. So obviously this number is by far better than that, or this, but then, you know, take a look at this 18, that's much easier to compete against than 65. So with 381 solid searches, you have a better chance of grabbing these people than you do with even 1,827. So I guess you just decide, you know, how the numbers look to you, how you feel about that. But as long as it's over 100, in my mind, it's free game to consider.
And when you're doing your research, this, I think it's quite important to mention, you shouldn't, this is a exercise that you should be doing along the way, not when you finish the book. Because for example, here, if I want to write something around CrossFit, then I might actually consider writing something in the book. Maybe not the entire book is about CrossFit diet, but maybe I want to have some section around CrossFit diet, because when I look at, there's some search volume, the competitors are not, it's not that high, and the average monthly earning is really good. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is something that I want to write on, because the numbers are looking quite good. So don't do this exercise just at the end, do along the way. Okay, I wonder if there's a mathematical equation to calculate a combination for all those columns and give an overall score, a bit like the traffic light system in KDP Spy. Donna, that's the competitive score. That's the mathematical equation for all those columns. But always take these with a grain of salt. Just like the traffic light on KD Spy. As we said, you really need to read those different columns together. Because, for example, okay, give me an example. Click the next one, CrossFit training.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's say this one, the competitive score is 25, right? Then you think, oh, it's quite low competition, maybe I should go for it. But then it said it has 700 plus competitors and only $200 of average earning monthly. Why would I bother to go in there? So you got to read all those numbers together. Does Amazon help you get seen when it is your first book launch, like with products? Yeah, when Amazon likes new book launches, so you're going to have a bit of a honeymoon period as well. And that's why it's really good to build the buzz and use KDP Select, for example, to do like 3 days free promotion to build that buzz. It's
also, you get on new releases lists. They'll put you on a hot new release. In fact, Nicole, I don't know if she's here, but her book, she just launched it.
Yeah, she just asked this question.
Oh, did she? Okay. Yeah, you're on there, girlfriend. You're on the hot new release. #1, by the way. I was freaking out. I sent that to Virginia. I was so excited for you. So yeah, Amazon really promotes you and helps you when you're helping yourself, because they make money if you're making money. So, you get the verified reviews, they're putting you on the hot new seller list, and you take advantage of those opportunities and really, be strategic about your marketing and consistent marketing too. Okay. And that's what the Amazon ads do for you. They give you consistent daily marketing.
Okay. When using KD Spy to pull back the first 20 results for a keyword, is the competition light, if the competition light is red, is it best to stay away from that keyword, or a good idea to check Publisher Rocket results too?
In KD Spy, at first in KD Spy, I would take a look at everybody's sales ranks, because if they're saying it's competitive for a reason, if it's red there. So take a look at all the books that actually pertain to what you're searching for, that are actually relevant to the search that you've done. Take out the books that are not, see what you got left. Because you could have a very profitable thing going on there with lots of monthly revenue. But if all the books that are left have a sales rank of 10,000 or under, then you definitely want to pay attention to that red competitive, stoplight there. So
yeah. And I think one of the downside with KD Spy is it doesn't really filter out the outliers or all the books that are not relevant. Say if my keywords is, I don't know, I'm going to say something really silly. Something that's I'm writing in nonfiction, but by keying that keyword, it brings out all the fiction books. So all those books are not relevant, and you need to remove them manually one by one. So you need to check all the 20 first results. And then it never hurts to use in conjunction with Publisher Rocket. I like to use both together. Okay. Thanks, Trudy. Louise is asking, what are some of the free promotion websites? So it varies a little bit depending on if you're doing fiction or nonfiction. I think you mentioned a few when we did the review session, didn't you?
Yeah, so if you can get a really great list of all of the book promotional sites, like over 175 of them, from Dave Chesson, who created Publisher Rocket. And if you just type in book promo sites in conjunction with like Kindlepreneur, because that's his website is Entrepreneur. He switched it to Kindlepreneur. He has a great blog post that covers all of these. He's got lists of them, and he has them in columns. So he lets you know whether you're allowed to submit something for free. He lets you know what their price points are if you don't. You know, some of them are really cheap, like $5 to submit something, and then you're shown to like thousands of their subscribers. So that's one of those steps that will take some time for you. As you're building your team, I highly recommend that you get a virtual assistant who is just setting up these promotion things for you. They're taking the time to search. You give them a budget, you know, we'll spend like $20 a month on maybe like 5 different promo sites that cost $5. And you just stagger those, you know.
I think it's
so check that out.
I think it's 127.
Is it 127?
It's not 175. I think
I know it's 175, Virginie.
Okay, all right.
127.
Wait, you just watch, guys. She's going to like dig it out just to prove me wrong. And you can, it's actually from Retzi. It's not from David Chasen. It's from Retzi. I think he borrowed.
Are you sure? I could have sworn it was a Kindlepreneur. What? Oh, I'm gonna prove you wrong right now. Are you ready? No, I won't.
Okay, guys. Okay, just wait. How Donna is asking. So Nicole is very happy. Yeah, Nicole. Yeah.
Yay, Nicole! Everybody go find her book.
Nicole.
It's so cool. And I'm already forgetting the title. Dang it! But it's like, does your kid
let her savor her own thing, because we're putting her so much on the spotlight.
I'm sorry. I just want everyone to go and find your book because it looks awesome. So Nicole Rice, it's under her name. Reese? I've got the last name wrong, don't I? Yes.
I don't know.
All right.
But it's good that cameras are not on because she might be blushing right now. So
good
okay.
promotion. Good promotion.
All right, come back. Donna is asking, how do we get on new release program?
New release program.
The Amazon.
Like the hot new release. So you'll get ranked on that if you make it to like the top 100 of the hot new releases. So when you get yourself into a good category and you're ranked fairly high within that category, then you're put on a top 100 hot new release within that category, which is why it's super important to find categories that are not too competitive, so that when you do release your book, you can get on that category's hot new release page and be like, you know, the top 20 or the top number 1. Yeah.
Great. How do you find a virtual assistant?
Very good question. I would go to Upwork for that. Because the thing is, if you know how to do it, then you can train someone to do it. So I would go to Upwork and just post a job asking. So you got to create an account first, and then just post a job looking for people who are willing to do some virtual assistant work, just some busy work that they can easily be trained on if they don't already know. You can put the job description, like the things that you need done, in there, and you can also search the freelancer, like that site, and invite freelancers who already have those qualifications. So it could be that they don't necessarily need training. They've already done these types of things before. So get very specific in your job post about what you need, and then post it and let people come in and apply, but also go and invite people to apply based on their qualifications and the types of jobs they've done. If you go to that site and just kind of investigate it, you'll find that it's super helpful.
Yeah. So let me send this to something. So Kevin, who is a little genius, he just posted the KD Spy algorithm and how it works. I just want to send it to everyone. Hold on, let me.
Oh, cool.
Okay, here we go. I just copy paste this in the chat box. If you guys want to just copy that, here we go. Thanks, Kevin. But again, guys, this is all those are just algorithms. You know, you still need to go in the 20 top results and remove those ones that are not relevant and the outliers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. What is the name of Nicole's book? Nicole's last name, please. Nicole, did you put your book in our Facebook review group? Okay, here we go. Does your teen talk? No, but they text, Snap, and TikTok. Nicole Rice. So it's under Nicole's name. So
It's really, really clever. Really clever.
Hold on. I'll put that also in the. Here you go. Okay. Flory, go back to the basic of the trainings. You need to download KD Spy onto your Chrome browser. And then there's a lot of training videos around how to use that. And then for this one that we're just showing right now, if you just Google Publisher Rocket, you should find a link to purchase this software. And Flory and everyone, I know because Flory say this, she's new and this is her first meeting. And also Ellen, I think. So welcome to the new guys. If you have any questions, make sure that you send an email to kpi@blueskyamazon.com. I'm just putting in the chat box, kpi@blueskyamazon.com, and then you can we can answer to all those questions that are really easy, but you just need to be shown once how to do it. It's not hard. Please, can you confirm the site you mentioned earlier? Kindlepreneur or not? So it's Lynn, it's a Readzy. I'll put that Readzy.
Readzy. They've got really good resources too.
Yeah, they do. REEDSY. Jean, CJ, can you please tell me what is ABSR? I joined late.
Okay, so the bestseller, average bestseller ranking. So it's their bestseller ranking, basically what they're ranked within either the Kindle store or the bookstore. So, and remember, you want to be as close to 1 as you can. We all do. Yeah. But yeah.
So Jean, just imagine a massive catalog, and then all the books are ranked from 1 to millions, and the closer to 1, the better. That means that your book is selling really well. The further you are, the higher the number means the less copies you're selling. So that's the yeah.
That's the breakdown there.
Yeah. I am at a place in the training where we determine if there's enough demand for a keyword. Should the average BSR for the relevant books be under 150,000 or should they be under 200,000?
We've been doing 150.
But still under 200 is still okay, but it's not, it's only one search criteria, right? I think even under 200,000 is still okay, but ideally under 150. Also, we want to make sure there are at least 2 books that individually fit that category, that criteria. Also, do we want to make sure there are at least 2 books that individually fit that criteria?
I'm not sure I understand. Do you mean like each book has a sales ranking of under 150,000? Because if that's what you mean, then no, we're not looking at that. We're looking at all of the books that are listed, the 20 books on the KD Spy Square, their average result combined. We're hoping to shoot for 150 or lower. And like Virginie said, if it's a little bit above, that's fine too, but that's the goal. Individually, if you're looking at the sales ranks individually, basically you're looking at them thinking, can I compete against this book? You know, is it 10,000 or less? And normally if you have a lot of books that are 10,000 or less, when it's pulled up on KD Spy, you're already going to get that red stoplight in the competition area anyway. I hope that answered your question. I think that's what you're asking.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. The last number was cut out. Uh, okay, Kevin, do you mind to send me an email with all the information? I think some are asking about it and they are struggling to copy my message in the chat box. Kevin, can you just send me an email with all that information, and then I can add that in the next to the video on KD Spy in the training in KPI course training. Okay, great. Okay, thank you. All right, so I think we're there. Just
Okay.
keep going, do your thing.
Okay,
Hold
so
on. What
we
time is
just wanted to make sure basically that you understood how to read this data. And I think we've already done this before when it comes to the AMS keyword search. You're just giving like the niche of your book. So if it's exercise, you could put in exercise, but it's actually a little bit better to, you know, be specific. So if we were to go CrossFit in here, I can spell, I promise, good glory the day. And then just, you know, go get 'em rocket, click it. I love that it says go get 'em rocket. It's inspiring, it's positive. And then this will just fill up right here, and you can just copy this and put it into your AMS ad that you are creating, all of these different keywords, these titles, okay, of books. So we've got titles of books over here. These are all Amazon suggestions. And then as you get scrolling more, you're going to see their stop scrolling. You're going to see the author names that you can also copy and paste. And then these are their product numbers, their ASIN, okay? ASIN, I don't even know how people say it, ASIN numbers. And then you just, this is more for like the product side. If you're targeting specific books, then that would be a different ad altogether. If you're unfamiliar with that, we did a video previously, was it 2 weeks ago, a week ago, that explained this in detail. Yeah, so I'm not going to go over it right now. I just want you to get familiar with this if you're new to this. Category search. This is fun when you, oh, did it freeze? There we go. You can check things out if you want to do category searches and just look at, so if we were to look at business and money, let's check it out. You can see all of the different categories that business and money have. And if you actually wanted to put your book in specific categories under business and money, you could figure out which ones are applicable to your book. And then you could actually go online to Amazon and do the full blown, you know, find this category, click on it, click your KD Spy thing, and see if it's going to be really difficult to compete within that category. Should you put your book under that category? So that's helpful when it lists all of these out here just like this. It helps you find them and identify them really easy. And then you can go and check and see if it would be easy to compete with them or not. Okay.
So this is really interesting. Why does it matter? You might be asking. So you might not be in, you know, ranking well in one category. So for example, if you look here, I probably, so if I'm doing something on accounting, oh, it just gives me the, let's come and take another example. I just don't want to do anything about, I don't want to talk about accounting. Can you scroll up a little bit?
Go up, or do you mean down? Yes.
Yeah, down,
yes.
Down. Let's say if you you want
do
to
fashion and image.
fashion and image. Yeah, so that's totally my thing. Stop.
It won't stop. I'm not touching it. Make it stop.
All right, so let's say we do fashion and image. Maybe I'm not going to be able to rank in the fashion because the competition is really tough. But if I'm going, say, to do a, you know, a specific book on haute couture, so very high end, very niche. So maybe there's a subcategory that's relevant to my book, but I will be able to rank in that category really well. So that's why we ask you to, so with the standard setup with KTP, you can have 2 categories, but once you have your book ready, we ask you to manually submit the additional 8 categories to Amazon, so that it can help you your book getting a better rank. So yeah, that's yeah, that's just
yes.
yeah.
Perfect. Yes, that. And I think that that's pretty much it as far as, you know, the way to navigate this. Again, go to these tutorials just to, you know, get clearer on it, and then practice, a lot of practicing. So.
Okay, let me see if I have got, okay, so Nandini, there is a in the KPI course, there's a video on how to add more categories. So yeah, it takes a few steps, but it's not really hard. Just watch the video and the step by step, and it's easy. Yeah, okay. I'm just mindful of the time. Are we in time, because we have the call after that? What time is it?
Yeah, check in. I actually don't know what time it is.
Oh, okay, it's 8 minutes to 8, my 8 a.m. Just a bit of a housekeeping, because I know we have some few new people here. All the weekly calls are recorded, and you can find them in your KPI course under the tab KPI weekly calls, and you have access to your KPI course via your Blue Sky member area. So that's that. For all the KDP related kind of questions, send the questions to us at kpi@blueskyamazon.com. For all the kind of admin questions, you know, about billing, things like that, you need to send them to customer support@knowledgesource.com.au. Unfortunately, we don't have we don't know. I mean, we're not dealing with the, you know, what membership you have and things like that. So sorry, we can't help you with that one. Thanks, Kevin. Louise, how many categories can you add? Up to 10. Up to 10. But it needs to be, I know that some people are trying to be a little bit smart ass, trying to smart ass. They're trying to add categories that are not relevant to their book. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah. There's nothing worse than going to business and money, business culture, and finding an erotica book there. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So.
And also it will hurt your conversion, because if people are seeing your book, but they're not buying because it's irrelevant to that category, Amazon will penalize you for that. So don't choose a category that's not relevant. Yeah. Sandra, the person who developed KD Spy, we are in communication with them. So if they have anything to ask us, they can just ask us directly. Don't worry about it. Yes, I know, Jason, I did say smart ass.
Keep talking, Virginie, because I'm going to go and find that stinking article that I know is there.
Oh, Jesus. So, okay, go for it. Go for it. I'm sure, because he said he referred to 127.
Was it 127? Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's 127.
Yes, found it. Okay, so I think there's a Reedsy one. We're both right, Virginie, because we're both good at this. So. We're both right, dang it. Yeah, I found it. So,
okay. So how many
resources? How many? You were right. It was 127. So I was wrong, but slightly right. You were more right. It's fine. No one's keeping score. So yeah. You would, dang it.
I would.
I love you so much. It's so funny.
Okay.
That's different. This is, I mean, he's kind of revamped this thing.
Yeah, awesome. He did.
Yeah. So you've got the top free and paid book promotion sites. So get on it.
I think it's more, but I think it's more for fiction books though. If you look at most of the sites are for fiction books. So
so be careful. Yeah, here's your list. Just pay attention. But even the fiction books do have subscribers that like they have little subsections of nonfiction. So just do your research or have your virtual assistant do the research and go through. It's worth looking through to see which ones would apply to your books.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I think I'm on all the questions. We got all the questions, and we're maybe even finishing on time. Can you imagine that? And I also said the A word, and it's recorded and multiple times.
Excellent.
So it's great.
I said erotica. I know it's not a swear word.
That's not a swear word.
Twice.
Yeah. Okay. Any more questions? Guys, you have, let me see, 3 minutes for last minute questions. And if not, we're going to wrap it up and wishing you a great week. And so any questions, KTP related, books related, send them to kpi@blueskyamazon.com. How many sorry, I'll answer that question. Yes, it's 1 hour every week, Sandra, at the same time.
1 hour with us, you lucky woman.
You love that. So you get a bit of a comedy as well. Yeah, Kevin, this, you know, finding a alien romance with tentacles book in finance category. Can you imagine the horror?
Did you really? Yes, show me where. Put that link in the chat.
No,
I am taking pictures of it.
No,
I
think we're just saying that, you know, if you put your book in the wrong category, it's probably not going to go down very well.
Still though, tentacles. That's interesting.
So yes, again, about all your packages and things like that, we don't know. Make sure that you contact customer support at knowledgesource.com.au. Sorry, we just just don't know. How do we find the status of, Patty, discuss with CJ. I'll send CJ an email. Yes, Sandra, this is the weekly KPI call. Thanks, Gabriel. I think we're done. Thanks, Susan. There's a lot of love coming our way. I love it.
We love you guys. We adore you guys. We're happy to be here.
So good. And
we're laughing at our jokes.
Yes.
I can't hear you.
You're a very good audience, because if you're not laughing, we'll be like, oh, okay, this is
They keep showing up, so
we're going to have our own channel, but it's another thing to do on the to-do list, but we're getting there. All right, thanks guys, have a great week. See you all very soon. Keep plotting, keep doing the outlines, keep writing. You got this, you can do this. Thank you, and see you all very, very soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.